speaking of tyranny, now is a good opportunity to talk about a horrifying story, if it loads properly.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, this. God, this is scary.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're not kidding.
Government contact tracing app sends user data to Foursquare and Google. Why?
Yeah, good question.
So apparently, this is in North
Yeah.
Dakota. There is a new contact tracing app they've been using, and it is sending your private data to private companies. And there's even an argument, it's contact monetization, because the
Oh.
data can be sold and used.
Whoa.
Yup.
What?
So
Holy
this
wow.
this is from futurism.com, and it gives us kind of like a quick summary of a couple different articles. So I'll just read this to you, and then we can carry on our conversation about, do we even have rights at this point? Public access. They report, there's a troubling flaw with the coronavirus contact tracing app used in North Dakota. It violates its own privacy policy by quietly sending users information to companies like Foursquare. Now, I'll stop real quick. You guys some context for those that aren't familiar. Contact tracing is this idea that, say, your phone. When I walk up to Adam, my phone knows his phone, and so it records the contact. And then governments can look at who talked to who to try and figure out where the virus may have spread from. How convenient. So now they want all these people to download this app so that they can look on a map and see who talked to who, and that's insane spying, right?
Insane.
To make it so they tell us it's for your safety. There's a virus, man. If you get sick, we want to know how you got sick and who you came into contact with, right? That makes sense. And they go and sell your data to a private third-party company, and what are they going to do with it?
Yeah.
That seems like a sneaky way they were able to get access to our private information.
Agreed.
And now we're seeing this. Consumer privacy app company Jumbo studied the app, Care19, and found that it was transmitting information to third parties, including Foursquare and Google, according to the Washington Post. The finding is unfortunate, not only because it's a major privacy violation, but also because it threatens to erode the public's trust in government attempts to contain COVID-19.
Yeah,
And the
damn
public
straight.
is already lost trust for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Proud Crowd, here's this contact monetization. Proud Crowd, the company that developed the contact tracing app, confirmed that it sends data, but says it's not for commercial purposes. According to WAPO, and a Foursquare spokesperson told WAPO they don't use that data, and it's promptly discarded. But the fact remains that Care19 users were told their data wouldn't be sent out at all.
Yeah, but they said they were selling it to them, though. Selling it to third-party apps.
It says selling?
No.
No. It's
Oh, I thought they said in the first thing you wrote or read.
No, it's sending it to.
Oh, sending it
Sending
to.
it to them.
Oh, okay. Well, like monetization, though.
I
Is
don't-
that not selling?
Well, they write. It just says contact monetization.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
Oh, okay.
I don't care what they said. You know why?
They're
Because
liars.
they're liars.
You're right.
Yeah. Remember Cambridge Analytica?
Yeah.
Don't worry, your data will be discarded, and then we'll sell it to a private company to harvest voter data to be used for political campaigns. So now, think about what they can do with all this data. They don't just know who you talk to; they know where you go.
Yeah.
Think about it this way: if you are in, you're downtown in your city, and I come into contact with Adam, then, 30 minutes later, I come in contact with Lydia in the southwest suburbs. They now basically know the most likely route I took, where I went.
The time it took for you to get there.
They know if I was
Yeah.
speeding in my car.
Oh,
True.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, that's interesting. It should have taken you an hour to get there, but you got there in 45 minutes. You must have been going pretty fast.
Huh.
No break, They can also see if it took longer. They can be like, must have stopped for food. Then it's not even about who I know.
They would have been able to tell where you stopped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I won't even know Bill Johnson, who's getting a cheeseburger at Carl's Jr., but I pulled up to the drive-thru and he was in front of me. And that's
Touched something he touched.
or whatever the range is for the cell phones.
Right.
And now they know exactly where I stopped because and they're going to see clusters on the map. And here's the best part. Now they're going to tell you,
best part?
trust us.
Gets better.
Just, Adam, trust me. I'm not going to send your data to private companies to sell. Lydia, you want to buy Adam's data?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
I don't like this.
Don't look at me. It was an accident.
Why do you want my information, Lydia?
I don't know. I'm really curious.
She wants to know what to get you for your birthday.
It's true. I do.
She wants to know where I got my sweatshirt.
That too. Yeah, I figured that out on my own.
So let's read a little bit more. They say, quote, sharing is supposed to be an anonymous code along with an advertising identifier sharing what is supposed to be an anonymous code along with an advertising identifier has serious privacy risks. Why would there be an advertising identifier at all?
Yeah. Why?
This is just it's exactly
So
what you'd
skeevy.
expect, man. Come on. If the government came and said, "We just want to know who you've been talking to. It has nothing to do with anything. Don't worry about it." And you're like, "Okay,
full of
you're a
nonsense.
moron."
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes, sir.
Dude.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Lawyer.
Whatever you
Sure.
say, sure.
Yeah.
If you will be advised by any lawyer worth their weight, do not talk to any law enforcement without a lawyer. Period.
Yep.
I'm not a lawyer. That's not advice from me. It's just what I was told. I watched a YouTube video once. That's
Oh.
what they said.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
if
true.
you heard it on the internet.
But think
I
about
guess.
the data the government is asking for, with you without having a warrant, without having even talks to legal, representation or anything.
Right.
And then think about what they might say if there's a lockdown and they go, according to the app, you were in the park. Remember that dude in Hawaii who got arrested because he took selfies?
No.
Some
I didn't hear
dude
about
went,
this.
some dude went to Hawaii, and then he immediately went out and took selfies and was having a good time.
Okay.
Police saw the pictures on social media, or people saw the pictures, reported him. Cops came and arrested him. And they said it's a 14-day quarantine as soon as you come, and because you took these pictures, we know where you were. You're under arrest.
Wow.
There was apparently another woman, same thing happened to. I just saw the story earlier today, that she posted selfies on the beach, and the beach was closed or something. So they went and found her. And so think about contact tracing.
Yeah.
You walk through Central Park not realizing it's closed, and then they come and arrest you. Well, the park was closed.
That's a scary world we live in.
Or give you a ticket.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like this at all.
Bro, it's coming. It's gonna be.
What do you mean it's coming? It's here. They're doing it.
I mean widespread, national. Everyone's gonna be happy and like, oh, I got my contact tracing. Now the government knows where I am. Great.
Perfect.
You know,
Won't get
you know what I
kidnapped.
think about living in the 1800s, and I'm like watching these old westerns and stuff, and I'm like, what's to stop some dude from just killing literally anybody and then getting away with it?
Yep.
You
My
can't-
mind goes to Red Dead Redemption 2. You're
Right.
going down the road, you see someone, boom.
No, you throw a rope around their neck
who
and
would
drag
know? No one would know, and no
Yeah.
one does know. And you just keep riding, and you're good.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of people don't know this. This is kind of scary. I believe the overwhelming majority of premeditated murder is never solved.
wow.
Never
Yeah,
solved.
that sounds right.
Really?
Unfortunately.
Yep. Most murders that are solved are passion crimes. But
Not,
Because
when,
it's
not
obvious.
well planned. Yeah.
it's the ones that aren't well planned
Yeah.
from idiots. That's
Passion.
scary, dude.
Yeah,
Get all
wow.
angry.
It's really scary. It's like a small percentage. I think it's actually decent enough though. Like premeditated murder, it's like, I think it's like 40% or something gets solved.
That's still not very high of
Oh,
a
actually,
number.
no. I think I'm wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
gonna
think it's
have to
way
look it
less.
up.
I think
Lydia's
it's
on
way,
it.
way less.
I'm on
Look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Because it's something I heard a really, really long time ago.
Yeah, wow.
That I think it was passion murders actually have a less than chance likelihood of being
Wow.
solved.
There's a 40% chance you'll get away with murder, something.
Premeditated?
In America. Yep. Police assault rate is even worse for other crimes. If you murder someone in America, there's nearly 40% chance you'll get away with it.
Okay, so there's a 60% chance
Well, hold on.
that they'll find him.
Is that
Yeah.
specifically premeditated, or are they combining all different kinds of murder?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so
That's a
that's
good
from
point.
the FBI's latest data on crime.
Yeah, that makes more sense what you were saying then,
Yeah.
Well, because the
right?
premeditated.
Right. Well, no, the passion murders they solve.
Right.
So of course the total number of murders
Would-
that they find
Exactly.
would be higher, right?
So if they I'm curious if that actually tracked only premeditated.
I'm not sure.
Because I remember being told this. I don't know if it's true. It's been a long, long time. That it takes only a little bit of obfuscation or misdirection to thwart an
Yeah.
investigation.
True.
And so it's that's scary. I guess actually that's an argument for contact tracing. Because then it's like you turn up dead
Yeah, I
and
was
they're
gonna say
like,
this is sounding like an argument
Well,
for
we
it.
can find out where he was.
Yeah, where was
Oh.
he? Who
well,
took
actually,
him?
no. I mean, that's why I brought it up. I'm like, you think about the technology back then, and it was like someone you could be taking a leak behind the saloon, and someone will walk up and go bang, and they
That's
walk
it.
away, and that's it.
Curtains
And
for you.
Wasn't
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's like you'd probably think that it's the same back then. They passion murders are probably the ones they solved.
Yep.
Well, who hated this person? Well, Johansson over here, he hated him and go over there,
done
and
stole
he's like
his cow.
washing the blood off his hands, like Johansson, we got you, ha.
Yeah.
And that's
I guess-
pretty much it.
I guess what's scary for back then is the likelihood of innocent people being locked up was substantially higher.
Yeah.
Like even going back a few decades, we have innocent people in prison, and then DNA evidence.
It's probably still happening. you
Yeah.
Oh,
know?
it definitely is. That's
Definitely.
why I oppose the death penalty, man. Did you hear that story? I'm going to be very, very vague with the language here.
Okay.
There's a story of a guy who he wrote this long message. He confessed to murder. because he saw a guy in his neighborhood who was he did some bad things to kids,
Right.
and he looked him up, saw that, and he was like, and he killed the guy.
Wow.
And people are cheering for him. He's like raising a ton
Oh, I know.
of money
This is right now, right?
Yeah.
right now.
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So this guy, like people on Twitter are like, he's a hero, and all this stuff. They're raising a bunch of money for him. And I'm like, for me, it's kind of like, man.
I mean, he still murdered somebody.
I empathize.
Yeah.
Like, this dude is as bad. Like, wow.
The
What
guy
do you-
he
understand
did
the-
kill?
Yeah,
you
it was
mean?
the guy who got killed was convicted 13 years ago.
Okay.
The challenge is innocent until proven guilty. And so if this guy got convicted 13 years ago, then what you need to do is prove it. But I bring this up because, you know, if we're dealing with the use of technology to prove innocence and stuff, we have to recognize the fact that there are going to be people who are locked up who didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then if you think we can kill people, then the argument I hear from people is often, I'm okay with killing one innocent person out of X if it means we get rid of bad people. And I'm like, man, I could not imagine being that innocent person.
Yeah,
being
all you have to
told,
do is be
"You're the
like,
sacrifice.
Would you be that innocent person then?
Yeah, seriously.
Some people say
That's a
yes.
good question.
Yeah. I don't think everyone could say yes though in that situation though. There's.
Do you want to be the sacrifice
You want
to
your
make the system
brother?
work?
I don't want
Sister
any
to be the
innocent people to be
sacrifice?
killed.
No, I
you
just
know?
mean like, right, I'm not literally asking.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, you know, if it is better than 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer. And I think Ben Franklin said it's better than 100 guilty persons escape than one innocent suffer. And like, I completely agree with that.
You can't argue with that. Yeah.
It's a challenge though, because people turn it around and say, what if that one murderer who gets released murders another person and now an innocent person has suffered?
Yeah.
Like, that's a really important point to bring up.
It is a good point.
Man, conundrums. And that brings me back to the contact tracing argument, because now you come back to the security versus freedom. If this contact tracing app can be used in a bunch of different ways, it could stop murderers.
Well, I mean, it feels like they could do that without giving our data to private companies.
Right. That's the problem.
That's the line where
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whoa, like, what are you doing giving our information away? Like, you want to use it? You want to use it for this? Obviously, they're already using it. So,
Well, I agree, but my line is giving the government access to know where I am at all times.
well, I agree. I don't want them to have that information anyway.
But
It's
they
like,
do.
but they have
Dude,
it.
Like,
It's like, all right.
we've already given all our contact data to Facebook. So it's like, for me to sit here and be like, oh, harumph. Harumph, I say.
They already know when I'm pooping.
Yeah,
You know.
right.
Now I
Yeah.
feel like every time I poop, I get this urge to just tweet at Facebook, like, "Hey, Facebook,
Guess what I'm doing?
You know
I'm
what
pooping.
you know
I'm
what-
pooping right now."
You know what I want to do? I want to take you know the Kilroy meme? Kilroy was here.
Yeah, the world's oldest meme or whatever.
I want to make that, but it's Mark Zuckerberg, and
Okay.
I want to put the decal in the bathroom.
No, how dare you?
So it's like whenever you're in there, there's like a Zuckerberg face
I don't like that.
peeking out over a wall
Gross.
over a
No.
big Facebook logo.
I don't want it.
Or underneath in the toilet bowl.
You know, it'd be funny. No. In just public restrooms, in stalls.
Oh,
on the
in
inside
I
of
was
the
thinking
door.
like here.
Yeah.
It's like no.
Or
Zuckerberg
you
is
can
watching you.
have like some sort of machine that when you sit down, as soon as it senses that someone's sitting down, it comes up from
face
the
pops
other
up.
side. Like, someone look at. Oh no, it's just an ad for
It's
something.
just Mark
Well, if you had a
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg's face.
If you had a sticker, you could easily just be like, on the inside of a stall, and then because people when people walk into stalls, they don't look at it.
Right,
Yeah.
see
So
it.
you walk in, they close it, they turn, then they sit down and look up, and there's
Oh, no.
Zuckerberg just like
It's like-
looking down,
I want to
Maybe with like a magnifying glass.
and and
Like,
a word and a word bubble that says, "I'm watching you poop."
Oh my gosh.
Or no, I'm sorry, I know you're pooping.
I know you're pooping now.
But then you could
That's
actually
pretty
you know-
good.
I like
Yeah.
that.
All right, we got
No,
another.
no,
no,
Make
no.
those stickers.
Ah.
Come on.
no.
Talk to me later. Oh,
We're
of course, you took the camera away.
Oh, okay.
No.
Talk to me later.
No Zuckerberg stickers.
I got a site.
Oh,
But I'll
it's
tell you
so
what.
good.
It would be an excellent informational campaign to explain to people about what it means when you're giving up your privacy.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But hold on, let me ask you then. Is it really that big of a deal if Zuckerberg knows you're pooping?
To me.
I thought about that too because we've talked about them knowing when I poop a lot, and I'm just like, you know what, Facebook, have at it.
Whatever.
Sell my pooping times to.
Well, so let's talk.
So
let's,
where are
hold
you
on,
going to
hold
sell
on.
that information?
No, wait. Let's talk freedom versus security.
Okay.
What if you're pooping
Mm-hmm.
and then you're straining really hard and like an embolism pops in your brain, like, and then you collapse. And then
I'm picturing it.
Facebook's tracking you,
Go on.
right? And so Facebook's predictive model is like, okay, he should be in the bathroom for, about a minute, and then he should get up and he should go to Taco Bell like normal, but then you don't go to Taco Bell.
Yes, 1 minute.
And they
That's all
notice
it takes.
your phone isn't moving,
They're like, whoa.
And then it calculates the probability, and then it says, in all likelihood, Adam was injured, and then they call 911, and the ambulance shows up, and there you are, keeled over in your bathroom with like one eye bloodshot, and you're like, ugh, and they save your life.
Yeah, hey, that actually happened. So there was a guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so there was a guy who was riding a mountain bike, and he like went over the handlebars.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his Apple Fitness watch or whatever.
Right.
And they were like, oh my gosh, this suddenly stopped, and then it stopped moving completely. And so they sent paramedics to his location because, of course, they had his location.
Wow.
Like, yeah,
That's kind of cool, though.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, that's a perfect example of where it's a good thing. That
is
dude,
security.
I mean, I don't know how hurt he was, but
he was pretty banged up. He was
yeah.
away from
Well, the guy. What about that movie, 48 Hours? Dude broke his arm with
he had to saw his arm off.
He got pinned in.
What?
You know, and he actually sawed his arm off and got out.
I
haven't seen the movie, but I know that's what it's about. It's a real story.
His arm. I read. I thought there was a movie or like a story about a guy who was had a tree fall on his leg, and then he pulled out a pocket knife, and then he just like.
What a way to go!
Oh man!
It was like lose the leg or lose your life, buddy.
But back to what you were talking about though, the security versus
freedom
infringement, or freedom and security, I guess.
But I guess theoretically, your freedom, you can when it comes to having your data tracked in certain ways, it's possible you're not going to give up any freedom. Maybe a little bit, but gain a lot more security.
Maybe for older people?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because they detected an arrhythmia for another lady.
Wow, really?
Yeah, she had atrial fibrillation, and they were watching her heart like usual, and they were like, holy cow, it's really irregular, and it's really fast, because it gets up into like the 140s sometimes, and it's really, really, I mean, you'll be sitting there doing absolutely nothing, and your atria are just fibrillating.
So she had like a Fitbit on or something?
Yeah, she was wearing her iWatch or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, that could be useful for some people.
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg is our friend. We should love Facebook.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Is that the right beanie?
This is the
what beanie you got on?
It's a Facebook.
a little Facebook logo on
while
the
the
back.
camera was changed, someone took like a little computer chip. It's got
Tim,
the Facebook logo
Tim,
on it.
blink 3 times if it's you.
Tim Cook. Yeah.
There is an interesting a problem with just general freedom versus security in a broader sense too.
Wait, you just blinked 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
I'm blinking SOS.
Feels good.
No, like another way to look at it is like ATMs at banks.
Yeah.
Like the monopolization of banks is a bad thing. You know, these big banks, then they become too big to fail. Then they start panicking, and then it causes major economic collapse like in 2008. But it is pretty convenient, nowadays how you can go anywhere and find an ATM because there's only a few banks.
True. Yeah.
It's like there's a convenience to having that one ubiquitous service, but a major detriment then to them being too powerful and then being unable to stop. And then when they screw things up, they beg, and the government has to bail them out. So it's like maybe the convenience isn't really worth it. I mean, competition is really important, and we're losing that too.
True.
But anyway, back to the contact tracing stuff. It's convenience is a really easy way to steal freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that same sense, it's like ATMs is convenient for us. What do we get out of this contact tracing stuff? Like, what is it really giving us? Unless you're old.
Public health.
Right.
They're gonna call it public health.
Public health,
yeah.
right.
Let's entertain their actual argument. If there was a serious outbreak, I mean, there is.
Right.
And, I mean, a more serious one, like some kind of like
something
airborne
even
Ebola
worse
or something.
Okay, yeah.
Then it'd be great, actually. That's the scary thing, because it's what I was talking about with like population growth. I mean, we've got real adversaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the challenge is knowing where the line needs to be drawn, and when security needs to override certain things.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to say, absolute in any direction. Now, I definitely think I always veer towards freedom, for sure, because power tends to corrupt. Absolute power tends to corrupt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You give someone emergency powers, what do? They go Whitmer on you. They go Queen Karen.
Let's turn that into a thing.
Going Whitmer?
Going Whitmer.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
She went after a 70-year-old barber.
I know.
Yeah,
But
dude.
look at Governor Murphy. He's like, these 2 young men running a gym. Oh, I'll get you. It's like,
I'm going to bring the full force of the law down on you in your sewer system.
They could
Conspiracy.
Yep.
Conspiracy.
Yep.
No, but I mean,
No.
But the governor directly threatened them, saying it's like, this is not a game. Like, we will, come after you. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
life
there's-
isn't a game. They want to support their families. That's
Yeah,
what they're
seriously,
thinking.
that's
and
the
they're
whole
not
point.
the only gym.
They're not trying to play games.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
That's the main problem, is that you can't expect the convenience offered to you to be used properly. As we've seen with this contact tracing app, they can whisper all the sweet nothings into your ears about how if you you know, you're in your living room, you think you got a fart, but then you pop a vein in your brain and you collapse, we'll save you. If you fall off your bike or whatever, we'll be there for you. It all sounds good.
Yeah, sure. Those few and far between stories of where it actually does
Very
make
rare.
sense.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah. What about how about you know exactly what every single person is doing,
All
and
the
you're
time.
giving it to private
Selling
private
it, making
yeah,
money off of
exactly.
it.
Yeah, making
But
money
then
off of it. Like,
also think about how they could come after you for anything. Like I said, like the guy who went to
oh,
the beach.
you were speeding.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
I-
they're
you
already
get a
watching that.
You get a ticket in the mail.
Yeah. So this is something that I noticed when I use Google Maps is that they'll tell you what the speed limit is here, and then right beside it is your speed.
Right.
And
Really,
they'll
it
tell
gives
if
you
you're
your
speeding.
speed now.
Yeah. And I was like, I was afraid of that
that's
before.
new.
I was like, this is how they're gonna get us. They'll just send you the ticket in the mail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what the big problem with this is? Because I did an interview with this guy named Moxie Marlinspike,
Okay.
famous like data privacy technologist. And people often say, "What's the big deal? If I'm not doing anything wrong, I got nothing to worry about, right?" And his response was no, because think about the legalization of marijuana across the country.
Okay.
It's illegal federally.
Right.
How would we know we want it legal unless someone broke the law? If they always know what you're doing, then the only thing that can happen is more laws will be created and laws will never be repealed.
Yep.
Right.
Moving further and further towards
Yep.
authoritarian.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the danger of spying on people, because people need to be able to bend and break and change these laws.
Yeah.
Now we just saw, I think, in Virginia, they just signed a bill decriminalizing marijuana.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't like it. There are a lot of states that have legalized it, but it's a relatively popular thing. I mean, I'm convinced that if Trump came out right now and said something like, "We're going to legalize marijuana across this country federally. We're going to tax it. It's going to be great. We're
Biggest landslide
gonna,
ever.
It would
Yep.
just be like
young people would
every-
vote for
It's like,
that.
well, Trump's winning. Trump,
Yep.
Biden,
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah. Get
Or
out.
go back to the old home that you
Yeah,
came from.
Seriously.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.